The downfall of Tesla and Elon Musk. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Talkbot Solutions, and a very unique time to be paying attention, not just only to the market with all the volatility of what was the trade wars, but now with what is going on with Elon and Tesla and the stock itself being down 50% from previous all-time high of 488. The first thing that I want to know is, like I've said before, some people were surprised on this pullback. Many of us that have been preparing for the pullback were not. You might be asking, well, how could you have expected that it, was going to pull on back? No, that wasn't the case. It was that it rallied up there for no reason. The only reason, and again, someone tried to argue it in the comment section on my previous video, and I don't see the point of what's there to argue. Like, I love Elon, I love Tesla. I always have. But it's very important to, when you're analyzing a stock, regardless of your personal bias, like, you have to point out what is the obvious, right? And Tesla was having a terrible 2024. It was one of the few stocks in the S&P 500 for the Magnificent Seven, or the only one that was not in the green. It was doing absolutely terrible. And if we pay attention to it, leading up to November 5th, which was election day, Tesla was trading at 240. And prior to this, if you guys see this jump from 212 all the way to highs of 270, Tesla during this time, which was late October, early November, had like a Tesla Cyber Roundup event. It was like an online event. I actually live streamed it and I loved it. They talked about their robotaxi, full autonomy, their Tesla Model 2 pretty much is like their taxi cab, their Tesla cab, whatever it is that they introduced. And I thought it was really good. There was a lot of excitement leading up to it. But again, like many times, buy the rumors, sell the news. Tesla went from highs of 270, and began to retrace down to lows of 240. So the argument that was made in the previous comment in my previous video was that no, the reason Tesla began to skyrocket so much was because of the excitement that it had when it came down to robotics and AI and full autonomy. That was talked about during the event. Everyone has known that of Elon and Tesla and when that was going to be implemented. Dates and times were given at this event. And after the event, feel free to look at the dates. Again, do your own due diligence. Tesla stock went from highs of 270 down to 240. Then it sold off after the event, not before, after the event. Then Elon supported Trump. Trump was viewed as the president-elect, the one most likely to win. And once that began to happen, just look at the price action, look at the volume, everything pointed up, right? Everything began to skyrocket because I believe it was assumed that, well, with Elon being affiliated with Trump, this was going to provide a straight roadmap for Tesla's success in all its avenues of robotics, autonomy, and AI. Okay, well, what we've learned is that's definitely not the case. Tesla has rallied, hit highs of 488. Nothing fundamentally changed about the company. Tesla was not experiencing more sales. Fundamentally, it was not growing quicker. There were not bigger or better projections. Nothing changed fundamentally on Tesla. And it still rallied to 488. I think its gain was like 100 to 110%. Then, as things began to turn for the market, right? Due to the trade wars, tariffs, there's some backlash or uncertainty of, hey, Elon's not spending that much time with Tesla anymore. He's spending too much time at the DOGE. Surprise, surprise. We talked about this. We talked about this late 2024. Why is Tesla skyrocketing if we all know that he's spending less time being invested in Tesla? Tesla stock began to sell off. Now it's hit lows of around 220, 210 per share. It's beginning to show signs of a support, as most of the market is beginning to show signs of a support. But the thing that not enough people are talking about is the backlash and how it's affecting the stock. If we look at just everything, Tesla owners are trading in their EV vehicles at record levels. Now, again, do your own due diligence. Is this true, right? But it's article after article after article. Tesla likely finished in Germany as 94% surveys say that they'd never buy Musk EV. So there's like this huge army of people that are now against Elon, maybe due to, and we've picked up on this negative sentiment towards Elon due to his affiliation with Trump, but also, whatever people are either making up or assuming is with their partnership or relationship. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. A lot of people don't like Elon right now, and they are bringing that energy to the market. And that's very unfortunate. We have never seen anything like that. That's very unfortunate for Elon and Tesla itself, because sales are down in the European region for Tesla. And they continue to lose more of that marketplace more now than ever before. Do your own due diligence, right? Look into that. BYD has taken over that region by huge amounts, and now they have even more competitors. Tesla trouble in Ontario, dozen of vehicles damaged in one location. You just hear this over and over again of a bunch of vehicles being set on fire, how our government is going to potentially view it as domestic terrorism, possibly send some of these arsons to El Salvador. Obviously, big threats that are being put to anyone that damages these Teslas. But there's this army of people that are truly going up against Elon and Tesla. And some people love it, right? Some people are like, yeah, we're sticking it to the big guy. Nonetheless, I don't think this is just the sentiment. And this is why I wanted to talk about it. Sentiment is important. But the part that I see to be most important is what has been made very clear. And this is also from the Trump administration. There is to what they've said, there's no additional benefit that Tesla is going to be able to gain that other EVs are not as well, by Elon being affiliated with Trump. If there's any form of conflict of interest, he should not get it. And this was made very clear by the Trump administration. This was not originally assumed. And if we look at this message, I found this thing to be very interesting. It kind of talks about the overall big picture of what once was assumed that was going to be for Tesla is no longer. So why I'm avoiding Tesla. Tesla bull thesis was based on two assumptions. Tesla would be exclusive provider of robotaxi and autonomous robots for at least several years. Because again, Tesla was so ahead of the curve. We have seen that this is not the case. I'm sure a lot of you guys have recently seen that NVIDIA is now partnering up with GM and collaborating in autonomy. And they are going to be a formidable competitor in humanoid robots like Figure AI and Boston Dynamics. Though autonomy and humanoid robots are going to be market giants, it is unlikely that Tesla will collect monopoly rents from them. So again, which was once assumed that Tesla was going to own a huge portion of this marketplace because they were the first to develop. I think this is where we might be seeing, again, I don't want to doubt Elon in that sense, where he just has talked for too long about these, Optimus robots. Those are his humanoid robots for way too long. I mean, what was it, 4 or 5 years ago that he introduced it for the first time? And one thing that was very exciting is that, he presented Tesla as, no, it's not just a car company. It's not just a tech company. It's a software company. He talked about the full autonomy, all the data that they're collecting. He talked about how the Optimus robot would take it to a $10 trillion market cap, and it would reconfigure how countries calculate their GDP, because these AI robots, these Optimus robots, people do not understand how valuable they are going to be. And it's going to be what takes Tesla to become a $10 trillion company, the most valuable company that's publicly traded. That was what was said, with the assumption that they were going to own the marketplace. Now, with all these different partnerships that are happening, because so much talk and presentation happened in advance and not enough action maybe in between, we haven't really seen much progress with that of, not many people have these robots, right? They're not available for the marketplace yet. Now you have GM and NVIDIA partnering up together and trying to take their piece of the marketplace. And because it was talked about for so long, then again, you give different companies the idea and the time to be able to configure their own, product to take their own piece of that marketplace. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Tesla continues to trade for 2025, because now it's not even just fundamentally that Tesla is on the bearish side of things. It's not just sentiment-wise that most or part of the world does not want to support Elon and Tesla. It's not me. I'm not saying that it is. I'm just saying that, there is this sentiment and we have to acknowledge it. Regardless if we agree or disagree, it's important as investors to approach this in an unbiased way. And then lastly is, what was once projected and factored into its market cap value can possibly be no longer, right? obviously, Tesla is one of the most heavily traded stocks. It's one of the most heavily shorted stocks. It's always been one that people want to bet against Elon. And there are times that, those people tend to do well because Tesla has struggled in the past before. But then it goes through these bull runs where then again, Elon, is viewed as almost unstoppable. He has these huge rallies of momentum, which really, creates a lot of demand, but then it always gives it back. And we've seen this in the past before, where we aggressively pump and then we dump and begin to retrace. And then we have a period of kind of just sideways action. So I want to remind you, this is not new. This is not something that Elon is unaware of, right? Or unfamiliar with. He's used to people being against him, but I've never seen it to this degree. I've also never seen him so uninvested in his companies because he is so invested in other areas. Now, again, it's not that I disagree with what it is that he's doing because, he's choosing to be invested in the DOGE, which hopefully is for the greater good of the American people. But because of that, it is causing pain for Tesla and all his other companies. So I just wanted to share my thoughts with you guys, things to think about, especially because, again, we've seen these rallies before. We've seen these dump befores, the sideways action. We've seen these rally before, and we can just not expect that, when the rest of the market recovers, that Tesla has to recover as well. Fundamentally, Tesla is not doing well. Projected for 2025 and 2026, sales are not looking good. Interest rates are not dropping, so therefore car sales shouldn't be as great. And then the overall sentiment is very bearish against Tesla. So again, you guys let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Just wanted to share that with you guys and see how the markets continue to trade. I hope to see you for our live trading session on Monday. And if you want to tune on in, that's going to be the second link in the description down below. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.